Hello and welcome back to Jarvis Johnson Gold, the premium channel that is free. It is free, but if you're watching this, you're premium. In Houston, we have a problem. Raleigh, we have a problem. New York, we have a problem. Los Angeles, we have a problem. We actually have a problem everywhere in the United States right now, and we need to talk about internet privacy and Discord. People are mad at Discord right now because a couple of days ago, they tweeted that they will soon be expanding teen safety protections worldwide, including teen by default settings and age assurance designed to create safer experiences for teens, which sounds fine. It's like hard to disagree with, right? Oh, okay, I guess I want teens to be safe. But what this means is that they are assuming everyone is a teen unless proven otherwise. Well, how do you prove otherwise? You need to verify your age. If you live in Australia or the United Kingdom, you may already be familiar with some of these changes that Discord has made. There have been a lot of regulations implemented in the UK and Australia that have caused platforms to need to verify the ages of their audience under the guise of protecting children, because God forbid if a child goes to a bad website. And put an asterisk about that, because we are going to talk about safety for young people online, which is important. I don't think any of us want children to be endangered online. That's something that we can all, that's a mission that we can all rally behind, is protecting children. Unfortunately, I do think it's being used in a very insidious way here to mask some of the privacy concerns and exploitations of our rights and speech online. So at the end of last year, Discord started making some of these changes. A lot of websites were making these changes. And then immediately we were seeing how difficult it is to actually correctly verify age online, because people were using the Death Stranding Norman Reedus face mover technology to use him to pass the face scans. Or people were using like 20-year-old Gary's mod, any form of technology, a Snapchat face filter, age. You can do anything to get past this stuff. It's extremely exploitable, and children want their internet and will find ways to poke holes in your technology. So there's a lot of reasons that this has already not gone according to plan, but it hasn't stopped these companies from trying. And we need to talk about why. So on February 9th, Discord posted this whole thing where they say they're building safer experiences for teens. And it's a bunch of words to say that they're defaulting everyone's accounts to be teens. And if they want to access any content that's for adults, then they will have to verify their age somehow or some way. Immediately, there was a huge backlash because they announced this for everyone without warning. Like, a lot of people are anonymous on Discord. A lot of people are using Discord as just a way to like talk to their friends and don't think of it as a social media network or a social network where they're identifying themselves. It's like a group chat for the homies, you know? Everyone freaks out. They don't want to be age gated by default. Obviously, they don't want to have to scan their face to use Discord. They don't want to have to upload their IDs to use Discord. I had to use the Wayback Machine to look at this post because started walking back some stuff. So they opened with a clarification. Discord is not requiring everyone to complete a face scan or upload ID. The vast majority of people can continue using Discord exactly as they do today without ever being asked to confirm their age. While this is true, it is a clarification and not at all a change of the policies that they're using. What you need to know is that behind the scenes, a lot of platforms like your YouTubes and your Reddits and what have you have a guess as to how old you are. There's a lot of reasons for this, advertising, demographic based stuff. But in this instance, I can go to my Google account info and see the estimations that Google has made about me. It has an age range. It knows that I'm single. Fuck you. Household income, high income. Let's go. You know what? You're cool with me again. Employer size, large employer. They're calling me big boned because I employ myself. So all that's to say, this kind of stuff has been happening in the background for at least a couple of years now. Another cause for concern with Discord specifically is they just had a data leak. Real quick, a brief word from today's sponsor, Aura. As you can tell right now, I'm upset. And one of the many things I'm upset about is data brokers who want your data. They're companies that profit off of selling your data to any interested party, including scammers. This 11-page report is going to give you a sense of the type of data that these data brokers have access to. And it's a lot. Home addresses, email addresses, relatives, phone numbers, even social security numbers can make it to these brokers for the right price. And their whole industry is built on the bet that you're not going to do anything about it. or that it's too hard to do something about. And that's where today's sponsor, Aura, comes in. Aura will automatically submit opt-out requests on your behalf and get your information removed from these data brokers. And it will also scour the internet to see anywhere else your data is and try to get it removed and let you know when it does. And that's not all that Aura has to offer. They also have a password manager, a VPN, credit monitoring, parental controls, really tons of stuff to keep you and your information safe online and keep you abreast of all of the happenings with your data. If you're interested in checking Aura out, you can head over to aura.com/Jarvis to get a 14-day free trial, which is just enough time to have Aura scrub the internet and see what info about you is out there. Thanks to Aura for sponsoring this video. Now back to the video. We had this episode of Sad Boys. We had Tom Scott on. This is when we were in London, and we were talking about the UK like age verification privacy stuff. What they were doing in the UK is they're saying, hey, if you want to go to any of these adult sites, you need to verify your age. But then there was not a good implementation or system of how to set this up. You don't want the website doing it themselves because now they have all of your data. You don't necessarily want the government to have it because you don't want the government to be developing a file on you. Put an asterisk in that as well. So what a lot of these companies did is they partnered with these third-party identification companies that would promise to protect the data. These vendors, they would say, hey, we're going to be really safe with your data. And then oopsie, immediately one of Discord's partners accidentally leaked a bunch of data. Now, I don't think it's a very great way of protecting the kids to leak a bunch of children's information and identification on the internet, but it goes to show how difficult the problem is and how fraught it is to try to solve this problem in this way and even expose uploading of children's face scans and identification data to a party that we can't trust. And we don't really have parties that we can trust with this right now. Some, myself included, may say this type of thing is always gonna have this type of problem and will never work in practice. And that's not even on the ethics side, it's more the implementation side. I just don't believe you. Even if you can protect the data, I need you to be able to protect the data and never use it for any nefarious purposes. And I also don't believe that's not going to happen either. This obviously made people upset.
Discord is going to make you upload your ID to verify your age. What a terrible idea. If I had to come up with a way to get everyone off of Discord, this is what I would come up with. By default, everyone will be a teen account. Channels and servers that are labeled as 18 plus will be automatically restricted. Sensitive images and videos will be automatically blurred, and DMs that you get from non-friends will be automatically routed to a hidden folder.
It's comforting that people think that spying on your messages is bad. I'm glad that we all agree with that. There's also language that discusses continually checking to make sure that you're not a kid, even if you do provide like these ID checks.
Because even if you verify your age and Discord doesn't get hacked, they've straight up admitted they'll use AI to spy on your activity and guess your age anyway. And if the AI thinks you're a kid, even after submitting an official government ID, you'll have to verify your age all over again.
This isn't just a Discord problem, actually. This is a wider global trend towards like more authoritarian control over our speech and our platforms. The way we communicate. There's a playbook that's essentially playing out the same way everywhere. It starts with protecting the kids, and then in order to protect the kids, you need their IDs. Okay, now we've identified everyone online because everyone in the world is either a kid or not a kid, and we need your ID to check, or we need your face scan to check. And once we get your identity, we've essentially de-anonymized the internet. So that comes with a number of risks. Like it puts a lot of people in harm's way for their identities or the speech that is free that they want to have, but now they can be kind of lorded over or spied upon. I mean, we've seen this play out time and time again. It's like if there is some sort of entity that's in power and then there are dissenting voices protesting, not agreeing with the things that the current administration is doing in whatever country, if those people are identified and punished or isolated, removed from the equation, targeted, it just becomes easier that way to stamp out dissent. I think we can all agree that we don't want to upload every message that we've ever sent to the FBI. Why though? You got something to hide? I mean, if you've never done a crime, what's the worst that could happen? I think that privacy is a good thing, and I don't think I need to explain that. But here we are. Another example, I mean, there are large countries in this world where being gay is illegal. And if I have an anonymous Twitter account, or I have an anonymous Discord account where I talk with my community or my friends or people who are like myself. And I can confide in them and I can speak about things that are considered crimes, but are really just my identity. It's like we wouldn't, you and I would definitely not think of what this person is doing as a crime by existing, but maybe their government does. Now, if they're identified, it paints a target on their back. It just like disproportionately, this type of stuff, like it disproportionately affects LGBTQ plus people, sex workers, like anyone who wants to speak out against their government about any existing power structures, if they want to shit on their boss, who knows? There's so many bad things that can happen if you just don't have access to anonymity. To jump to the US, even if you don't have anonymity, there's strength in numbers, right? So even if we were all identified on Reddit or Twitter or whatever, we could band together and say the same thing. Very similar to if you go to a protest, there is safety in numbers, right? Now, there is a policy, a law in the United States that's been around since the 90s, since the early days of the internet, called Section 230. And what Section 230 says is that the platform is not considered the publisher of the content on that platform if it is created by users. So we have this thing called user-generated content. People that write Yelp reviews, that write Letterboxd reviews, or what have you, posting Facebook statuses, tweets, those things. Twitter isn't responsible if 100 people tweet that the president sucks. And that's important because if Section 230 didn't exist, every single one of these platforms could be sued out of existence. So it's considered to be a fundamental policy that kind of keeps the internet as it is. It's a backbone of our open modern internet. So what's happening right now in the United States and what Discord is getting ahead of and what's been happening in the background with a lot of platforms that are using AI to guess your age is that the president of the United States wants to repeal Section 230. And the reason that he wants to do that is because how great would it be if I could sue my enemies more easily? If there was something I didn't like somewhere, then I could say, hey, Twitter, you should remove these tweets or else I'll sue you. Wow. A lot of power has been taken away from this medium of communication, from the people. It is a way that like authoritarianism works. You control the channels of communication. And this is just a way to exercise that control. And it creates a lot of liability for platforms, and the identification aspect creates a lot of liability for people. There's this post from last year where there was a leaked memo that identified Discord as a place that violent extremists could exploit functionality of popular online gaming platforms. It checks all the boxes. They've got text chat, voice chat, video chat. Ken here, very aptly predicted, seems pretty clear the government is coming for Discord users. And would you know who wants to get rid of Section 30? Donald Trump. And would you know what is happening state by state right now? Seemingly quietly, because we're not talking about it enough. Through the shrubbery, the ghillie suit of protecting the children. Virginia's new law limits kids' social media use to 1 hour a day. Can it work? No, these cannot work. They will not protect anyone. And I will explain why. Other than the implementation difficulties, other than the fact that Discord's last verification partner leaking 700,000 identification documents, people will find ways around this. As I mentioned before, this is just the first step of trying to figure out what the best situation is, that how kids interact with social media. The first step is sending my child's face to a data center somewhere to sit every hour to keep access to the internet. And there's a lot of these. For those who are in the US, I am going to link some ways that you can contact your lawmakers to just make them aware of some of the underlying problems here. There are a lot of old people in our government who are not abreast of the way the internet works and the important aspects of said internet, and can unfortunately be easily duped for brownie points for what I mean. I was a staunch voter for the Protect the Children Act. And it's like, did it protect the children? Oh, of course. All we had to do was institute an authoritarian regime. That's kind of where I feel like we are inching towards. And so I'll link some explainers for some of the like legal policies that are at play here, ways that you can let your lawmakers know how important these issues are to you. This is actually another reason that I don't think a lot of people are aware of to be upset with Discord, which is how early they're just bowing down and capitulating to what they think is going to be enacted into law, not like what's actually happening. Like in America, the legislation, we're still like at the state by state thing. We still have a lot of things that are in the air. There's still time for us to act. But Discord is like, no, guys, don't worry. We'll get ahead of the surveillance state. Instead of like defending their users, like the people that put them in this position to begin with, it's like they're turning in their surveillance state homework early. Last but not least, Discord lied. This is from a couple days ago, still up. We've seen some questions about our age assurance update and we want to share more clarity. We know how important these changes are to our community. I, again, have to say, be mad at Discord. I don't care. Like like do it, because we also want Discord to use whatever levers of power it has to fight back against some of these impending legislations. But know that by hyper-focusing on Discord and canceling your Nitro subscriptions or whatever, you're not actually going to solve the problem, because the problem is at a legislative level. It's at it's a global trend of censorship and ID verification that is that is acting as if it's protecting children, but in reality is about control, removing things that were once free, as in your speech, your freedom to anonymity and communication. And like, look out, because this is happening on a state by state basis in America. So there may be bills that are up in your state that members of your state, legislature or house or whatever are looking at. So the links, you can let them know how you feel about it. Here's what we want you to know. Discord is not requiring everyone to complete a face scan or upload an ID. The vast majority of people can continue using it. Okay, so that already is like, yes, but it's because you're looking at all the messages, modeling them, trying to figure out if it is a kid. And then even if you do pass a face scan, allegedly, according to their posts, they're still continuing to check. There may be a point where they think you're a kid, their AI system positively flags you as an underage person, even though you've done a face scan. You have to upload an ID now. And so it's like, oh, I have to upload an ID or not use Discord. And so it's like you're caught between a rock and a hard place, and Discord is kind of not really moving on what they're doing here. Facial scans never leave your device. Discord and our vendor partners never receive it. IDs are used to get your age only and then deleted. Discord only receives your age. That's it. Your identity is never associated with your account. So that's a place where people believe that Discord lied. And the reason is, while initially Discord may have never sent your data to their vendor after failure of the system being shown, aka face scan bypasses, aka doing this with Norman Reedus's face in Death Stranding 2 to bypass the facial scans, they're swapping vendors. And they're swapping vendors to a company called Persona, who does in fact receive and retain your data. And Persona is also funded by Peter Thiel. I'm not going to explain who that is, but I will say Jay Aubrey made a great video series about him if you want to learn about what a grand old pal that guy is. One of the founders of Palantir, if that helps. And speaking of that vendor Persona, a lot of people are citing that Discord was hacked for identity documents. And I mentioned that earlier in this video, but I want to clarify that it's just a vendor. It was a vendor hack. So it was someone that Discord trusted. And this is going to happen everywhere. And it's something that we talked about in our episode, which I'll link with Tom Scott, is that someone has to be trusted at some point in the chain. And if that trustee fails at their job, floodgates are open, your information is leaked. That has already happened once. And one of the leading ID verification companies is founded and is still supportive of a very authoritarian, surveillance-based, anti-privacy company that is swimming in government contracts. In closing, the goal is censorship. We're doing satanic panic again. We're clutching our pearls and we're saying, oh no, we have to protect the kids. So give us all of your IDs. And then once you have that, now you've been identified, and we're saying, okay, now let's repeal the act that the policy that allows for the platforms to be protected, so that the hegemony of oligarchs is of the League of billionaire besties of Donald Trump are the only people whose corporations can go unchecked, and it's anti-competitive for anyone getting into the space because Section 230 makes it so that a company can get off the ground before it's sued into oblivion due to what its people post. So stay woke. They be creeping. They gonna find you and catch you sleeping. Don't you close your eyes. Stay gold, everybody.